Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm playing an old piece of Quinn's from 6 years ago called Until We Meet Again. And I picked it specifically because the image he used of it is fall leaves. And I just think it's really pretty. And it just reminded me of this incredible week of weather we're having. So that's it. Until we meet again. SoundCloud, iconic, in case you're interested. Type in Quinn Del Val. There's a lot of iconic stuff. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, you know,
Frazzled?
I'm
on firing in all thrusters because of you.
Yeah, it's just one of those interesting weeks at the Del Val Mary household, as so many of them are. But it's all good.
It is.
So it's Guest Thursday, but we told you at the start of the week that we would not have any guests on in case there was technical debacles with my arts partnership live streams, which have been going at 8:05. And of course there was a technical debacle today, but it turns out that it was for me, not for anybody else. So whatever, you can go back and watch that if you want. I couldn't get on to the live stream at Nicole's Fine Pastry, but you know, it's all right. It's all right, it's all right, it's all right. She says over and over to herself.
It's good.
It's good. Okay, so we actually do have a guest, but as I wrote in the little notes, it's kind of more of a show and tell than a guest because it's inanimate. So I want to show you what I have as our guest today. I have to put it in a place where you can see it. Can anyone figure out what this is? It's a badly need to be sharpened eyebrow pencil. And I have to read you something first. This is last month's issue of July-August of Vanity Fair. And you know, they always do this Proust questionnaire at the end. So July-August was Megan Rapinoe, the star soccer player for the women's soccer team. Not the wife of Glennon Doyle. That's Abby Wambach. Just to circle back, Dr. Mary.
I knew that.
Well done.
Thank you.
One of the questions asked of her in the questionnaire is, what do you dislike most about your appearance? And she wrote, this really made me laugh when I read it, my eyebrows are the exact color of my forehead. When not filled in, they make me look like an egg with a nose and a mouth, which is exactly what I look like when I don't use my nice little brown pencil. So why am I telling you about the fact that I have transparent eyebrows when they aren't colored in?
You are a natural redhead. That kind of happens.
Yeah, and my eyebrows and eyelashes are naturally clear, practically. So while my eyebrows are robust, thank you, John Del Val, this is them fixed.
Oh, genetics.
They are clear. So, okay, we're talking about this pencil because I actually think it represents something really, really significant in our life, and I think it can represent something bigger in your life. Oh, Sandra, of course yours are pale. That's because your hair is also pale. Anyway.
And you're Scottish.
Yeah. I bought this in December of 2018 at a Boots in Yorkshire, England. Maz got sick. We had to go get some cold medication so that he could take me to see where the Bronte sisters had lived and died and written all of their novels. But he was in pretty rough shape. So we walked into a Boots. I had just used up the last of my American eyebrow pencil. I walked over to the makeup section and I bought this pencil. So, you know, a year and 10 months ago, I bought this thing. And I still have as much as I do because, you know, I haven't worn makeup much for months and months and months. Yes, my mom is chiming in that she had nothing to do with the eyebrows. She has amazing natural eyebrows. Amazing. And of course, my middle brother got those eyebrows, and my younger brother and I went straight Del Val.
Stay on topic.
Just in case people are curious. I bought this eyebrow pencil. I have been to England, I think 4 times since December of 2018.
Yes, we have.
And I'm telling you that because when Maz came out of his medically induced coma in 2017, he and I had been talking about going to Hawaii to a conference that he was going to later that summer. We had been talking about it before he got sober, and then really talked about it at that point. We started a series of travels that year that really started with Hawaii. I think I have taken 15 international trips since 2017. Let's keep in mind I hadn't left the country since 2003, leading up to 2017. So as this travel started to really increase and we were doing more national traveling, I set a goal and I said, I want to go to Europe 4 times a year. And in 2017 and in 2018 and in 2019, I met that goal.
And we actually went once this year. We
We
squeezed,
did. We
squeezed it
squeaked in Maz's 50th birthday trip with the expectation that we were going to Ireland and Japan and I was going to France. So that was already, my 4 trips were taken care of for 2020. So I bought this eyebrow pencil in December of 2018. And then I went back to England 4 more times. And each time I went to a Boots thinking, oh, I should replace my eyebrow pencil. But you can see I still have a fair amount left. And I did not replace the eyebrow pencil. Do you know why? Because I took for granted that I would keep going back to England and that I would just stop in at Boots when I needed a new eyebrow pencil. Well, now, not only have I not been to England since February, where I elected not to buy an eyebrow pencil, but I don't know when I'm going to get back, when we're going to get back. I took for granted that travel would just be an ongoing and at our luxury experience in our lives, so there was no urgency to buy an eyebrow pencil. Okay, so that is the motivation for today. That's the inspiration for today. But why are we telling you about my stupid eyebrow pencil from Boots, my $4 eyebrow pencil? Because actually, I think the larger thing is, what are you taking for granted? The larger lesson.
Yeah.
What are you taking for granted? It would be so easy at the Del Val Mary household for us to take Maz's sobriety for granted. To just stop waking up filled with gratitude that he's sober. To stop waking up filled with gratitude that you went to bed one more day on the right side of sobriety versus the wrong side. I will let you talk now for a moment.
It is tough. Some people call it it's been referred to as a pink cloud, believe it or not. Shh,
stop it.
Up. Go lie down. When you get, I don't know if it's cocky or you get complacent or whatever it is, but a lot of people, more people actually fail in their continued sobriety within the first 5 years than they do at any point. A lot of people kind of do it for a year and then give up because they think, yeah, I've been sober for a year, but it's the same problem is there. The addiction is still there. All those receptors in your brain are still there. As soon as you put alcohol in there, they're going to go, hey, we're back.
I'm going to manage the dog. Keep talking.
So it is. You could fall into a trap. You could get a little comfortable, and dealing with a disease, you shouldn't be comfortable with them, and it shouldn't ruin your life. And some people say that's why AA is not for them, because they have to continue to feel guilty about the fact that they suffer from the disease of addiction. But it shouldn't be that either. I'd say to anyone who's thinking that, who actually might be watching this, if you feel like your AA meeting makes you feel guilty, we live in Fargo, North Dakota. It's a big city in a big state in not really, well, it's near Canada. So, it's an isolated community. There's every week in the city of Fargo, there's got to be at least 100 AA meetings. They're all different. If you can't find one that celebrates the fact that you're sober, go find another one. It's completely up to you. So you can find that place where you can be grateful, but not complacent. Hopefully this is making sense to anyone who's listening. But it's like another thing that Dana has at my mother's house that we're grateful for and maybe got a little complacent about.
Oh, I want to drop kick that dog.
We don't have another dog at my mum's house. Dana has this fantastic pair of ankle-high wellies that were always at my mum's house, and they're comfortable for you to walk in. For some reason, Dana likes walking down European alleyways.
Dr. Mary, you're way off focus.
I am not off
I'm
focus.
mad about the dog. All right, let me focus this back.
I am not off focus.
A little bit. Well, get there then.
I've done it. I was talking about I was filling.
That's called vamping.
No.
Yes. Anyway, here's the thing for today. What are you taking for granted? What are you just assuming will always be in case? Is it a relationship? You know, do you not call your parents often enough because you think, they're fine, they're healthy, they're going to be here? Well, they might be and they might not be. Is it your child? Is it your relationship with your spouse? Is it your health? You know, I rarely wake up with conscious gratitude for my body that I complain about going to spin, but guess what? There are a number of people who physically cannot get on a bike and spin. Well, I take for granted that I can. That may not always be the case.
One of the good things about that is actually we get reminded about that from many of our spin instructors.
It's true. They do a really nice job of reminding us to be in a place of gratitude for the privilege to get to pay to exercise.
Yeah.
Which is true. It is true.
You should be privileged to pay for expensive sweating.
I mean, there's a lot of years where I could never have afforded to go spin. So that's another thing to be grateful for. Actually, are you taking for granted your income?
My counsellor, my last counsellor in AA, she said to us one day, it wasn't just me, but it wasn't actually me that said this. Someone else said, well, this is really hard. Because I said that to her a few weeks before this. And she said exactly the same thing to this new person. She said, it's supposed to be hard. You're fighting a disease and you should be grateful not everyone gets to come here.
Absolutely.
And that has stuck in my head ever since.
Let me just say this in case you've not heard me say this. Had Maz died the night we went into the emergency room, which was a distinct possibility, had he died, I would never have known what a good relationship was, a good marriage. I would never have known that. It would have confirmed for me everything that I already believed about marriage, which was that they were kind of stupid and didn't work. I was saying that based on no personal experience, never having been married before. But I had this bold statement about marriage that it just didn't work. And if Maz had died, it would have confirmed that for me. Well, what an amazing thing that I got to see the shift. I got to experience and live the shift. Shame on me if I take what I have with you for granted, because I didn't always have this, and I may not always have this for millions of reasons. So whatever you need to stop today and think consciously about not taking for granted, don't just think about it, also act on it. Let the person know. Stop and put a note of gratitude out to the universe for whatever it is you have just glibly taken for granted. And then do a better job of being conscious about it. This eyebrow pencil, when I realized the significance of this, actually has a lot of importance to me now, because I don't know when I'll travel again. And travel is a luxury. I understand that. Although in our case, we travel to see your family. So it's a luxury and a privileged obligation. Let's put it that way. But this pencil represents something that means a lot to me because of all the years where not only could we not afford to travel, but you were in no state to travel. This pencil represents that to me, that we live a life of incredible abundance and joy and luxury. So find your thing.
I hadn't been in Hull, which is a great place, the city of Hull, where I went to college for 5 years. This is the city that Dana, in Yorkshire, where Dana bought said pencil. So I'd just like to say in your face to everyone who laughed at me that said, really, you took your wife to Yorkshire in December?
Come on.
Eyebrow pencil.
Eyebrow pencil. Big life lesson. Sharing it with you. I'd go to Yorkshire in the middle of a sleet storm. It's amazing. So I feel like that's a great place to stop.
There we go.
Sorry that I yelled at you.
That's all right.
The dog makes me bonkers.
I might have started a spiral. Like you might have made a point.
Have a great day. Tomorrow is Challenge Friday, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to post a blog post later today about a previous challenge that we put out to all of you that we took upon ourselves yesterday. So I hope before tomorrow morning that you will read the blog post. I'll post it maybe in 25 or 30 minutes. Read that so that you have something to think about for tomorrow, and come prepared to talk about what you're doing to match that challenge, and also come ready to hear about tomorrow's challenge. Have a super day.
Have a good day. Enjoy the weather if you're from North Dakota.
If you're here, enjoy the weather. And Sandra, I just have to say, I have been consumed with envy ever since I did your mindful meditation, and everybody who said things like, oh, I just popped down to the village. You all live in such beautiful little places with little villages and little high streets. So that's what I'm thinking about today, is waiting to get back to all the little communities in England that have high streets that I can pop into, get my eyebrow pencil.
And they're all connected by alleyways too.
I know, I love it so much. All right, have a good day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.